So at this point, the carving is all finished, and now I'm thinking about what colors to paint it. And I just don't know how colorful I want to make it. There's so many color possibilities. I don't just want to make it white. I think I want to incorporate red, white, and gold leaf. You know, once you paint it, you're kind of like stuck with those colors. You spent so long in the design of it and then the carving of it, and then it comes to paint and it's like a whole other phase of the memorial. I've decided to do some color tests on a scrap piece of slate before proceeding. Unfortunately, the paint I was using was a bit too soupy and not very bright, so I went to Home Depot and chose the most vivid reds and whites available. I carved a quick initial and sprayed it with red. Once dried, I sanded away the excess paint and got a sense of what the colors looked like. At this time, the only color I felt really confident in was the white for the month bracket, so I taped off all those areas and began coloring. I wanted to create a fade that got more opaque closer to the birth and death dates, so I had to be careful with the amount of white paint I applied. So then I started with just the number 6 in red, and it looked good. So then I did the 15, 1984, and 2023. And it's striking, but the red is dark. So I think what I want to do is gold leaf the initials, and have the letters be white. So I spent a long time protecting that center strip and surrounding areas with tape before I went at it with spray paint. I'm not a huge fan of opaque letters. To me, it's like a lazy paint job. I prefer to give the letters a light dusting of color so you can see little dots of the stone mixing with the paint. You have to be very cautious applying paint this way because it can get too opaque very quickly, and if you're not careful, the effect is ruined. As I went along, I thought it would look nice for the name letters to have a fade of white, so I went stronger toward the bottom half of the letters. I then hit the epitaph with the same coating. I think the next tool I invest in will be an airbrush set because it would give me a bit more control while painting. Now I have to paint all those tiny squares in the middle of the letters. Taping those off took forever before I could give it a dusting of vivid red. I was very pleased with how the color scheme was turning out. Removing the excess paint with abrasive stones is always my favorite part of the process because you can finally get a sense of how it all looks. Now time to gild the initials. I saved this step for last because I didn't want any paint to accidentally cover the gold leaf. You first have to paint each letter with a special kind of sticky glue, and then apply these incredibly thin strips of pure gold leaf to the tacky surface. There is nothing like the luster of pure 24-karat gold leaf. Once fully dried overnight, I can then clean up the edges with those abrasive stones. Almost done. I've realized that seeing it all with the gold leaf, that this center strip, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I think it should be a continuation of the gold leaves, even though, you know, it's taken me a lot of work it was a pain in the butt getting the red in there, so, yeah, so let's do it. I considered scraping away the red paint, but that would have taken hours to do, and the sizing glue still adheres to the enamel paint. When I polished away the excess gold leaf, I knew I had made the right decision. So this is the carved memorial I began with, and this is what it looks like after being gilded and painted. I think the white and gold really works well together, and the red is appropriate just to the dates of birth and death. And note how the months fade more white getting closer to the dates. I'm always trying to push the boundaries of what graves can look like, so hopefully you like this as much as I do. If you'd like to commission a similar memorial, please visit my website for more information. And if you enjoy this channel and would like to support my stone cutting passion, please consider donating to my Patreon. Thanks for watching.